But
Hello and welcome to TC Sports. My name is Jacob Butzine alongside Aaron Klinker and Andrew Schultz. As you can see, we're in a little bit of a different location this week. Andrew and I, as of today, are finding out that we will be attending the Michigan-Penn State game this weekend. Aaron, unfortunately, could not be here with us. However, in a couple episodes, keep watching because all three of us will be together in one location. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to find out.
it is going to be fun. There will be chaos, but most importantly, what do we always say on this show, Butson?
Tom Brady is a system quarterback.
That too.
No, not that. But the most important thing is that we're having fun no matter how much toxicity we may endure.
That's what he said.
And unfortunately, we don't lose a lot on this show, unless
you do.
Unless we're making picks, then not very good.
We lose brain cells. We lose brain cells.
So yeah, it's great. Michigan Penn State game is going to be awesome. Glad we get to go, and we're really excited. A couple weeks, we'll be going to the Michigan Nebraska game, and Aaron, Andrew, and I will all be together, and it'll be a great time. So this week we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to do our hot takes. We're going to do college football, break down more in-depth college football. Aaron's going to do a segment of NFL. He's going to do his little 3 to 5 minute spiel on that. Then we're just going to do the predictions for the NFL. We're not going to go too much in depth because there's so much college football happening. So,
and we're all super busy and busy week today.
Busy, really
busy.
busy.
Record on our normal.
Whole thing sucks.
Couldn't record on a normal Tuesday because Butson's Wi-Fi killed itself.
Alta fiber.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P. All right, let's start with our hot takes. Aaron, we'll start with you.
All right, so this is one that I just came up with. I've been thinking about this one all day. I was even thinking about this one while I was doing my homework down at the University of Cincinnati today. So my hot take. This relates to NFL, right? Just got to make that clear.
Hold on. UCF is beating Temple 70-30, 13 right now.
70-13, 7-0-13.
Hey, Temple, I heard Matt Rule's back on the market.
I think he likes that $834K a month for the next 4 years.
I mean, okay, anyways. So my hot take is that
not to interrupt you. We apologize.
Sorry, I just saw the score and had to tell you.
You know what? UCF is not legit. They couldn't put up 69 points.
Not nice. Not nice at all.
No, not nice. Okay, so my hot take is that, and this has occurred over the past couple seasons, the Eagles will flame out of the playoffs like the 2021 Cardinals did and like the Pittsburgh Steelers did in 2020.
Okay, say that one more time.
The Eagles are going to end up like the Steelers and Cardinals the past 2 years. Bounced out of the wild card.
Interesting. So how do you think they're going to – what do you think their ending record will be?
Well –
so clearly they'll make the playoffs, so they're going to be at least a 500 team. So
yes, and I'm not saying this is the hot take for a reason. I've seen this the past 2 years. Last year, the Cardinals, they were going absolutely nuclear. They were, smacking teams left and right. And then I believe they started out, I want to say 11-0, and people started buying into the hype. And then they dropped, I want to say, their last 5, barely got into the playoffs, and then got bounced out by the Rams. Same with the Steelers. Started off 11-0, lost to the name redacted, aka I think it was the football team at the time. And then the Browns slaughtered them in the playoffs, basically. So I could be wrong, but I've seen this the past 2 years, and this could be a recurring theme in the NFL for God knows how long. You have a team starting out undefeated, and then they eventually just flame out.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I love it. Andrew.
All right. My hot, steamy pile take.
Hot steaming pile.
Yeah, that hot steamy pile.
Was that English? Was that English?
Sorry, lost
Wait.
the thought. Georgia and Alabama, both teams will not be in the SEC championship game.
So what? At least one of them will.
No, both of them won't.
Oh, that is a sure hot steaming pile. No.
Got a call. Sorry.
Interesting. So, okay, let's pull up. Aaron, why don't you pull up the SEC standings for us?
Yes, sir. I will on my iPhone 11 here.
Hold on. I will be right back. Hold on.
We're having a couple of technical difficulties. It's no big deal.
All right, so you wanted the SEC standings, right?
Yep, SEC. So give me the top 4 of the West, top 4 of the East. So start with the West.
So in the West, which I would argue is a lot tougher than the East, you have the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Old Mississippi Rebels, the LSU Tigers somehow, and the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Okay.
And then in the SEC East, we have the reigning national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs. We got the Tennessee Volunteers, and then the South Carolina Gamecocks. Go Cox. And then the Kentucky Wildcats.
All right, so Kentucky's pretty much out of it, in my opinion, at least in that side of the division. I would say, okay. Well, here's the thing: Tennessee has to play Georgia, Bama, and they have to play everyone in the West or the East still.
Yes.
So Tennessee has a very, very tough route to get there. Once Andrew's done getting down with his technical difficulties, we'll ask him who the teams that he think will be in it. I don't know. Here's the thing: Tennessee, Bama played this weekend, and Tennessee went whoever loses in that matchup won't affect each other in regards to the tiebreaker when it comes to the SEC championship game because they're on different sides of the division. So, but obviously a loss will still hurt.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, if Ole Miss comes and they start to become, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, while I'm saying it, look up Alabama's schedule for me, but I'm pretty sure Bama has to travel to Ole Miss this year, which could be a tough matchup.
Hold on. Yeah, they traveled to Ole Miss the same weekend. We're gonna be up in Michigan for the Nebraska game.
All right, sorry about that.
Oh no, all good. Me and Jacob were just going over the Alabama schedule because they got themselves a little gauntlet here coming up.
Yeah, they do.
So if it won't be either of them, who will come out of the East and who will come out of the West?
All right. So my thoughts on this is it'll be Tennessee
in the East.
And it'll be Ole Miss in the West.
See, I was just saying that. I said Ole Miss has to play Bama at Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi.
The real Oxford.
Bama does not play well on the road, and I've been listening to Joel Klatt a lot. Joel Klatt is amazing. He's done the statistics. I've looked at the statistics. Bama is not that great on the road in recent years. From what I've heard, is their defense has not been, as elite. Bama's defense is elite, but it hasn't been elite as much. I was just saying before you walked over here that I think it'd be Ole Miss and Tennessee would be the ones that you were thinking of. Honestly, that's a very, very hot take. However, if Tennessee beats Bama this weekend, that prediction becomes a lot
Colder.
realistic. At least Tennessee, on the other hand, Ole Miss has a pretty good team, and if they want to beat Bama, it always comes down to the line of scrimmage game. You know, can they run the ball? Can they get pressure on the quarterback? In the end, that's all that matters. If you can't get pressure on the quarterback and you can't run the ball, unless you have Josh Allen as your quarterback or Patrick Mahomes, you ain't gonna be successful. So, okay, ready for my hot take?
Dessert.
All right. So my hot take: this college football playoff will consist of one SEC team, not two, one SEC team. So that could be going based off of sort of your hot take. One Pac-12 school and two Big Ten schools.
I was actually thinking that as my hot take this week, actually, as well, because I actually can see it happening. Whereas, because if SEC chaos happens and one Pac-12 school remains undefeated, I don't see how you leave out a possible one-loss. The one-loss Big Ten school is probably going to be better than that one-loss, maybe two-loss other SEC schools. Maybe.
Now, I just disclaimer and just be fully transparent. The two Big Ten schools will be Michigan, Ohio State. There's no one else.
That's you read my mind.
Man, Purdue's looking pretty hot.
But now, it could be Penn State. You know, if Penn State pulls out an upset this week in Ann Arbor, which I will be there, so I hope not. But if it happens, and they get Ohio State in State College in Pennsylvania, if they pull out an upset against Michigan and are able to beat Ohio State, because Penn State's defense is really good, they're rolling to the Big Ten championship game. Unless they pull like a Michigan State last year losing to freaking Purdue just randomly. Like,
I mean, it could happen. Crazier things have happened.
But let's just say hypothetically Michigan gets past their test this weekend. They're pretty much rolling until they play Ohio State, okay? Michigan or Ohio State. Whoever wins that game, the winner goes to, more than likely, the Big Ten championship game.
Obviously.
You have an 11-1 non-Big Ten champion whose only loss would have been to a top 2, 3, or 4 team. For Michigan, if Michigan lost, it would be on the road, so that looks better. For Ohio State, it would be at home, so you can look at that either way. However, if for some reason Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State, however that comes out to, lost in the Big Ten championship game, obviously there'd only be one. But if they're an undefeated Big Ten champ, and the next best school is 11-1, not winning their conference, if chaos happens, like he says, in the SEC, and only one gets in, they're the next best team. Now, USC and UCLA play later in the season. I think it's the week before Michigan, Ohio State. So if they're undefeated then, you're getting into some toss-ups. And Oregon's starting to play well. So in my opinion, I like UCLA to be the team that makes it in the Pac-12. But honestly, the Big 12 could too. Big 12 is starting to head down as Oklahoma comes down. But that's my hot take. 2 Big Ten teams go, 1 SEC and 1 Pac-12.
I can see it.
I would not be shocked. Anything can happen. We've seen it already this year.
Now, I've been listening to this a lot this week. If Texas wins out. Now, Aaron, if you want to pull up their schedule while I talk about this.
Sure, I got it.
Or he's got it. If Texas wins the Big 12, they would be a 11-2 Big 12 champ. They would have wins over. From going beyond, they have a win blowing out Oklahoma, by the way. They would beat an unranked Iowa State team. They would go to Oklahoma State,
who could be a top 10 team still.
Could be a top 10 team depending on how they play against TCU.
Top 25 Kansas State.
And then TCU.
Top 25 TCU, because Oklahoma State and TCU are playing this week. Kansas, who's still a top 25 school, and then Baylor, who's Baylor.
Now, if you beat what is that? 4 top 25 teams, assuming they're all ranked at that time.
3 on the road.
3 on the road.
Kansas is the only one they have at home this year. Or no, TCU is the only one.
And they're a Big 12 champion. Would they be the first 2-loss team to make the playoff? A lot of people have been saying chaos will still have to happen because you still have to credit the teams that win their games, which is true. Mm-hmm. And you can't just say, well, if this quarterback was in, they did this. It doesn't matter. They lost. They played Bama tough. I get it. And then they lost to Texas Tech, which, again, they didn't have Quinn Ewers, but you can't look at it that like you have to look at the team, not the players. But if Texas wins out, do you put them in the college football playoff?
I definitely put them in the conversation. As badly as I want to look at the Bama game or the Texas Tech game, like, oh, if Ewers was healthy, and I have looked at it like that, but looking at this from a team perspective, football is a team sport, and you're not going to win unless all 11 guys on both sides of the ball are doing their job. And I'm not saying they weren't. I'm just saying that you are correct on looking at this as a team because, again, like I said, football is a team sport. So that's not completely crazy.
I think it would come down to, do they value conference champions more than your record? Because you could argue, okay, Texas is an 11-2 Big 12 champ, okay? Michigan's an 11-1 non-conference champ, or Ohio State, whatever.
With a pretty weak schedule, too.
Well, with a pretty weak Michigan schedule, Ohio State is a little bit better. Not much, but it's a little bit better. Do you put an 11-1 Michigan team who only lost to Ohio State on the road, or an Ohio State team who lost to Michigan at home, depending on how the score comes out? Or do you put an 11-12 Big 12 champion who only lost, assuming they win out the rest of the games, they only lost by a combined of 4 points between 2 games? 1 by a field goal, 1 by a point.
I think it depends on how many points they win by in like their next games. Like, let's say, Andrew, do you still have the schedule pulled up for Texas?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so what are their next opponents? They play this week.
They have to blow Iowa State out. They have to.
So you blow out Iowa State.
They're home against Iowa State, and they're home against Baylor.
Okay.
Those 2 unranked games. They have to blow those teams out. If Jalen Daniels is really out for the season, they have to blow Kansas out. If he does come back, they can. If they win and survive, they win and survive. Kansas State, they have to beat convincingly by at least 2 possessions, I think. Same with Oklahoma State. You got to beat them convincing. You have to be convincingly better than all the other teams you play for the rest of your schedule. Now, Texas has a strength of schedule where a 2-loss Texas team could get in, especially with Ewers, unfortunately, going out against Bama, because I really think if Ewers is in, Texas beats Bama. I think they'll probably beat them by a touchdown or 2.
And they'll probably Texas Tech, too.
And considering they only lost
they would have
1 with a backup QB from the second quarter onwards, I say Texas could do it. Texas is kind of back. We'll see how the rest of their schedule plays because Oklahoma looks like Purdue.
Nah, they look like Northwestern. Come on now.
Yeah,
they can't play defense, and their coach is a defensive coordinator.
He's got to pass the joysticks.
So
he's playing like my Army defense when me and Butson played college football earlier today.
Yeah, I destroyed him.
You won by
really?
No, I won by 10, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I won by 10. He still had more yards than me because he tried to do this like weird like kickoff, but
No. I only lost by because I threw an interception at the end. That's right. Yeah.
Come on, Grandpa, get back in the home.
Well, you see, we did random kill, and I had Kentucky, and he got Louisville, and who was your other school?
Louisville and I don't remember.
It was somebody who was bad, and then he killed and got Georgia Tech, and then I said, if you kill, I kill, and I got Army. So, what are you gonna do? And the overall differences in that game actually mean something. So he was like an 88 overall. My team was like a 77. So my defense had holes bigger than the Bengals' offensive line.
So we'll move on to our recap of last week's college football here in a second. But I just think, in my opinion, with Texas, I still think there's so much more college football we have left that they still got to win their games. If they just keep winning their games and they win the Big 12, if you do everything right the rest of the way and you don't get in, I mean, you did your best and you're going to get the next best.
They'll be top 10 for sure if they win out.
So
they'll be at bare minimum top 15. I'm calling it.
They'll jump back up.
So we'll see. I mean, they're already whatever. So, all right, let's pull up last week's scores. Let's talk about a couple games.
We talking about predictions?
Yeah. Well, and then we'll talk about. All right. So give us how did we do on picks?
I went 3 for 4, only getting the Utah UCLA game wrong. Jacob went 1 for 4, only getting the UCLA game right. And Clink, you went 2 for 4, solid 50%, getting Tennessee and UCLA right. I was almost close to having a perfect weekend across both college and NFL. No, it just came like that. I don't know.
So I suck at freaking college football.
So Button's sitting at a 45% correct pick rate in college football. I'm sitting at 67%.
2% off greatness.
And Clink, you're at 24%.
Hey, all I'm saying is my percentage is better than Ben Simmons' 3-point percentage.
All right.
All of ours are.
So we'll go around. Each of us will pick one game to talk about. One thing that one game that they liked that you like to talk about. Kind of dive into that game a little bit and what you think. Andrew, you can go ahead first. Of last week's games.
I'm gonna start with Utah and UCLA. I came in doubting UCLA because their schedule was kind of weaker. They really only played Washington before Utah. Utah's defense, it looks like, boosted all their stats when they played all their bad teams. So kind of learned my lesson there, not to just look at, like, oh, Utah's only allowed X amount of points since Florida, but they didn't really play anybody since Florida. So I think Utah has still got some things to work on. They definitely need to get better at run defense. They gave up so many rushing yards to former Michigan Wolverine Zach Charbonnet. Learned all his skills here at Michigan and carried them over to UCLA.
Yes, sir.
DTR might be legit. I don't know about Sundays yet. He's a really good college quarterback. I think he still needs to work on some things. He missed a couple throws. I can't remember specifics, but I know he missed a tight end over the middle, which he definitely should have hit. And then he missed a couple others. But I thought UCLA looked good, and I think if they play the way they do against Utah, they could compete for the Pac-12 championship. I think it's going to be the battle of the South LA schools between USC and UCLA. I think that's where the best Pac-12 historically has been, and I think it's back there again. I think both USC and UCLA are back, and I'm here for it because guess what? They're coming to the Big Ten.
And it makes college football better when the powerhouses are all good. Let's be honest here.
I can agree with that.
Texas is somewhat back. Bama and Georgia.
Where's
Tennessee is now kind of back. UCLA, USC is kind of back. Michigan, Ohio State are back. Penn State is back. Like, I think college football is better when you have all of these blue bloods instead of just 2 or 3 teams running and then everyone else. Because in my opinion, the top 10 could go any way. Well, okay, the top 5 could go any way, and then the 6 through 10 could go any way you pick them. In my opinion,
I think this is the perfect time for college football expansion. I think the previous years doing up that 6 or 8, that 5 through 8 wasn't as good as the top 4. And like even last year, there was definitely a gap between 1 and 2 and 3 or 4. It's like, why even expand?
Absolutely.
But this year, I think it's like I think you have to expand. And I think NIL has actually helped college football in ways that I don't think we foresaw, because I think it has leveled the playing field, because I think it is spreading out talent more so than we've ever seen. Because, yeah, the top guys are going to go to top schools, but, now, like, Mississippi State is somewhat competing now at the SEC level. Tennessee doing really well. Like, these schools with these fan bases, like, hey, I can be the 4th best player on Bama's roster, or I can go to Tennessee, be the number one guy, and make all this money from NIL deals. Whereas, like, even though this team may have offered me the best package, I may not even play there. So I think it's leveled the playing field, and I think NIL has done some things that we probably didn't see. And although, like, you see Texas A&M dominating recruiting, you cannot buy a team in college football. It is not how college football works. At the end of the day, they're still kids. They still got to put the work in, and the teams that do are gonna win. And it's not like NFL where you can buy Matt Stafford, you can buy Von Miller, you can buy OBJ, you can buy your LA Rams team and go win a Super Bowl. But in college football, it's not going to work like that because it's 18-year-olds. So
NIL has definitely leveled the playing field and the transfer portal. The fact that you can literally transfer tomorrow. Well, I don't know this to a T, but I know
there's a transfer window now.
Well, but
they have a window.
Yes, but you can you don't. It used to be the rule is you transfer, you have to sit a year out. That's not a rule anymore. You can transfer 1 year and whatever. The NIL has leveled the playing field, which makes me think: were these big schools doing it legally before? I don't know.
No way they were.
I don't have anything to back that up. I'm just saying. The fact that Saban got really upset to Texas A&M about buying recruits, and the fact that he's not doing as well, and the fact that Georgia doesn't look as well. I mean, it's going to level the playing field out because these players can go like, I can go. I might go get less money at, let's say, Tennessee, but I'll be the starter. Or am I going to go to Bama, get more money, and like he said, be the fourth string? I would take less money only because it's still money, and I can play. If I'm getting money and playing off of my name, and you're gonna get more NIL just because of.
Oh yeah.
So
you're gonna get local sponsorships, like, say for instance, if you transferred, I know neither one of you would want to do this, but if you transfer to Cincinnati, odds are you're getting a Skyline sponsorship, you're getting a Kane sponsorship. Like, you can get a lot of deals.
I'm already sponsored by Skyline.
Well, you guys get what I mean, though. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You'll get a lot of local deals. Like with I can't think of any off the top of my head, but my point is,
I mean, there's a lot of local businesses. So
I mean, yeah, my point is, if you could take less money to go be a starter at, say, UCLA or Tennessee or even Florida or Florida State, but you're still going to get like the money from local businesses who, maybe they want to offer you a sponsorship, like, hey, get our business out there,
Exactly.
So the money will still come. That's my whole point. The money will still get there. But me personally, I would take less money, more playing time.
All right, Aaron. Pick one game last week that wasn't the game we just talked about, and just in a quick couple seconds, just kind of debrief the game a little bit.
So yeah, you guys, I'm talking about Texas, Oklahoma. You guys know that scene in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin walks into the Jedi Temple with the 501st?
Yeah,
That's what Quinn Ewers did to Oklahoma.
He said, "I'm back."
Or that scene in Infinity War when Thanos is getting the Soul Stone, and Quinn Ewers is Thanos and Oklahoma's Gamora, and he basically said to them, "I'm sorry, little one."
Oh,
and threw him off the cliff.
Oklahoma was the Illuminati, and Quinn Ewers was Wanda.
Oh my god!
I'm so sad from that. The Illuminati got.
Hey, we're not talking about that. That's Marvel.
I know.
So, all right, yeah, that was that game. We don't even. I mean, Oklahoma did nothing good.
Texas bent them over the table. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to just break this team down a little bit because we're going to talk about them later. Tennessee absolutely took Brian Kelly down. I mean, it is not easy playing in Death Valley.
It is at noon. However, it's still LSU.
Brian Kelly is still a respectable coach. Is Tennessee legit? We will find out this weekend in Tennessee, talking about on that. So let's head into our predictions. We're gonna do just a couple before we head to break, and then we'll come back and finish them out with the biggest games of the week. So we'll start with the
Clemson, Florida State.
All right, yeah. So we'll start with Clemson, Florida State. Aaron, break it down for us.
Well, I want to apologize to DJ. I don't know how to say his last name, but I want to apologize to him. He's already matched his touchdown total from last year. Florida State, they ain't no slouch either. Travis Hunter, not Travis Hunter. I don't know their quarterback's name. Forget I just said that. But actually, who was their quarterback's name? No, I want
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. Okay, Travis Hunter played at Jackson State.
Jordan Davis was the guy from Georgia.
No, I said Travis Hunter.
I'll fact check it. You guys,
I'm pretty sure it's Travis.
just talk.
Okay, well,
I'll fact check.
I think this could be one of the best games this weekend. Yes, Florida State's not ranked, but they've been pretty good all year. I mean, they're a 2-loss team, but I'm pretty sure most of those losses have been very close games, if I'm not wrong. Or if I'm wrong. Long day.
Let me check real quick. Sorry, I don't have all my data. I've had a very busy week at school, so
Same here.
I don't have everything off the top of my head like I normally do. Florida State's 2 losses. They have lost 2 straight games. Wake Forest 31-21, and last week was NC State 19-17.
Okay, so
Ranked opponents. They did beat on Boston College. And that was it. That was their last win, was Boston College.
okay, well, my point stands. Florida State may be a 2-loss team, but I feel like they're better than people give them credit for. Clemson, the Tigers are back. Can't say the same about LSU, but the Tigers are back. And I think this will be a very good game.
Who you got winning?
I got Clemson winning, we'll say 35-30. I highly doubt it's going to be that close, but yeah.
Andrew?
All right. I think Florida State, they're good, but they're not quite back yet. Their coach is building a team down there. They will get back to national relevancy, but just not quite yet. I think their losing streak extends to 3 games, and Clemson wins 38-29.
Weird scores, I know.
Not so fast, my friends. All right. I got Florida State winning this game. I think them Seminoles coming back. If I was in Florida State right now, I'd be putting on the tomahawk chalk. Whatever.
Hey, Clink, looks like we're getting another point this week on Butson.
Just chalk this one up. I hope.
I'm already putting them red.
So listen, I watched Florida State. Florida State for I watched a couple of their games. I think they got a team. I really do. Yeah. I'm not sold on Clemson yet. I'm not sold on Clemson. You have to agree with me on that.
Yeah,
you're not. We're not sold on Clemson. I think Florida State is that young team that is still trying to figure things out. Definitely next year
at Florida State though.
It's in Florida State and at 7:30 on ABC. Those games are always tough. Now, if Clemson can go there and make a statement, I might be sold on Clemson a little bit. They just jumped Michigan this week, which is fair. They won convincingly. Michigan struggled for a half, whatever.
It's because their coach left.
Again, rankings don't matter until college football playoffs. So,
week 9.
I'm just not sold on Clemson yet. But I got to get my points back somehow. So, not so fast, my friend. Florida State wins this game 28-27, missed extra point. One of these times it will happen. One of these times we will miss an extra point.
Okay. I respect it.
Up next, the Mississippi State going against the Kentucky Wildcats. Andrew, what you thinking?
This is a rivalry game, apparently. Apparently, UK and Mississippi State are rivals. Levis is back, I believe. I know he was dealing with turf toe and something else, and that's why he struggled last week in their loss to South Carolina. Mississippi State might be legit. This is their game to say, hey, we are Mississippi State. We're back, and it's in Kentucky, and it's a 7:30 p.m. SEC network game. So another good primetime game. We got loads of college football this week. It's amazing. Mississippi State just got a huge win over TAMU recently, and they also just who did they kick the crap out of? They kicked the crap out of Arkansas last week. They did lose to LSU, so they're kind of up in the air on whether they actually have played anybody. And I think I'm going to go Kentucky rebounding and have Kentucky win this one.
Aaron, prediction.
Well, obviously Andrew said it best. Kentucky, they kind of looked like crap last week, but again, to their, in their defense, Levis was hurt. I agree, though. This is kind of the game that Mississippi State can put the college football world on notice. Like, hey, look at us right here. We're legit. With that being said, I have Kentucky winning 30-27 on a last-second field goal because both teams missed extra points or whatever.
Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast, my friends.
There's another point.
Mississippi.
Yeah, chalk it up.
You of Kentucky, they're a great football team. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, could see them upset Georgia at some point. It could happen. Still not sold on Georgia yet. Really, I'm not sold on any teams. Let's be honest. No, I feel like everyone plays up and down this year.
I know who you're sold on. Northwestern being bad.
Northwestern is bad. I am definitely sold on that. Good Lord, baby Jesus.
I think everyone is, except Northwestern fans.
Mississippi State looks really good. I love Mike Leach. He is he's one of the funniest coaches I've ever met. And I don't think he actually means to be funny. I think that's literally just him. They're a great football team. I see them winning by 2 scores. 2 scores this weekend. Kentucky, I think, is starting to go on downhill, but who knows? They could figure it out. We'll see. Before the break, let's go over
NC State, Syracuse.
NC State, Syracuse. All right. I'll break this one down because you broke down a game. You broke down a game. I'll break down a game. So this is a game that which NC State is going to show up? Is it going to be the NC State from the first couple quarters of the Clemson game and, a top 10 team at what one time they were? Or are they going to be the NC State of old where it's who's NC State? Now, Syracuse is always, to me, that they've found ways to beat Clemson. They've found ways to contend with all these teams. Can they get it done this weekend? In my opinion, now, this is a very, can you bring up Syracuse schedule real quick for me?
Yeah,
so
they play their last 5, Louisville, Kentucky, Purdue, Virginia, and is that Wagner?
Here, look.
Wagner Seahawks.
Wait, is Syracuse undefeated?
Syracuse is undefeated. So
Yeah.
So here's their remaining schedule.
They got NC State this week. Then they got Clemson in Death Valley. Then they have Notre Dame. Who cares? Then they're at Pitt. Then they're home against Florida State, at Wake, at Boston College.
Now, they have a 3-game, definitely a 3 hard game stretch. Now, if they get out of 3 of those games, first off, you're starting to think about.
Yeah, listen.
That's okay. 3 straight games that it's wow, this could be a Syracuse team. I'm gonna go with in this game Syracuse winning this game. Aaron, who you got winning? Because we only got
I got NC State 30-21.
Looks like me and Click are getting another point. NC State.
Oh dear.
By a lot.
Listen, anything can happen in college football.
All righty, we'll be back here after this short break. We'll be back at you. All righty, and we're back breaking down some big college football games this weekend. We just got done talking about Syracuse, NC State before the break. Gonna be a great matchup. Moving on.
Okay, State.
We got Oklahoma State and TCU. This is my game to watch this weekend. This will show who TCU is and really also show who Oklahoma State is. Still not sold on either of them. So we'll see. Aaron, go.
Not sold on anything.
No, I'm not.
You know, TCU has my respect. They went blow for blow with a Kansas team that their offense has been explosive all year. Doesn't matter what team they play, they're going to put up 30-plus points a game. Oklahoma State, love Mike Gundy. He has built something really special over there. Spencer Sanders, nice with it. What can I say? Love watching him play. Honestly, this is a tough one because I feel like I agree, this might be the game of the weekend or whatever, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. They win by a last-second field goal, 30-27.
All right, Bucks. Who you got? Who did you say? You said Oklahoma State.
Not so fast, my friend. TCU wins this.
Andrew, another point.
I think TCU's offense is going to be the game changer. I saw them play Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't play any defense.
Well, yeah, that's been the case for the past 5 years.
Oklahoma State, though, here's the thing is this is going to be a 3-point game either way. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think TCU
spread is 4 in favor of TCU.
So I would take Oklahoma State. Not to win outright, but I would take them to cover before I take TCU to cover -4. I think it'll be a really close game. I like TCU's offense. I like their coach, and I like the culture that they have there. They're back to not necessarily relevance, but they're getting there. So this would be a big win for them. TCU.
All right. Dukin's a baller. He's been playing really well. Oklahoma State's had a weak schedule, and without Jim Knowles, who went to a university which I will not name, their defense has slacked a ton. It's definitely not the same without him as a play caller and his scheme. I mean, they still kind of run a similar scheme, but not really. I think this is one of your 50% games that you get wrong. And I'm going with TCU 49 to Oklahoma State 43.
Jim Knowles went to the Ohio State University.
The University of Ohio State.
Hey, talking to the wrong guy. I don't associate myself with that.
University of Ohio. There we go.
This just in: West Virginia beat Baylor tonight. And Washington's about to probably beat the Bears, is what it looks like.
Oh,
got Bears.
Anyways.
Bear down, baby.
Alrighty. Next, we got the University of Southern California versus Utah. Andrew.
I was high on Utah last week. I am not high on them anymore. They're about as low, and I'm about as high on them as I am Northwestern to win a game.
That's really low. What?
Utah is struggling against the teams that they should beat. They have lost. Their 2 losses are UCLA and Florida. Florida, not that great. What are they doing? Nobody knows. They're just beating Florida. However, USC has struggled against some teams that they maybe shouldn't have. They barely got a win against Oregon State. My bad. I'm blind. And then they kind of struggled with Washington State a little bit. But I think USC is legit. They're giving Utah actually 3.5 because it's in Utah. But I don't think that makes a difference. I think USC wins this because Utah cannot stop the run. And I think Caleb Williams and Travis Dye are about to go off for like 200 yards combined. And then not to mention Addison going off as well. So I think USC wins this. And I think it's going to be 42-38. I think it'll be close, but I think USC wins it.
Well, that ain't close, my guy.
42-38 is pretty close.
Oh, they said 28.
I thought you said 42-28. I was about to say, what?
42-38, I think it's going to be a lot closer, but I do think USC still wins it. I think they give it some points in garbage time.
Aaron.
Well, you guys know how I feel about Caleb Williams. He nice with it. He is very nice with it. Spencer Rattler's punching the air right now. So, yeah, I got USC winning like 30 to like, we'll say 30-19. I'll be generous. I don't think Utah is going to be able to keep up with them.
I really want to say not so fast, my friend, but I don't think I can. Utah is just so up and down. You just don't know when they're going to play well. And it's so hard to go against. I watched a video of Lincoln Riley and like his like scheming offense, and he was with Mike Leach at some point. I think at where was he?
Well, I know him and Mike Leach run very similar offenses.
Yeah,
I think so.
But they're underneath the grid of the spread offense.
Right. Yeah. It's basically the spread offense, but I just don't see them now. With it being in Utah, don't count them out. I mean, what's the line of that game?
It is Utah is getting 3.5.
Utah's getting 3.5, and
no, wait. USC is getting 3.5. Utah is favored by 3.5. So they're giving Utah a field goal.
And they have Utah with the FPI.
Yeah, it is like 61% Utah. Which is just, for the Southern California boys.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I have to go USC on this one. All right, next. Here we go. We're getting there. Alabama travels to Tennessee to take on the 6th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Let me break this down for you.
Let me break it down.
Bama does not play well on the road. Tennessee, listen, there might be a tiny earthquake in Tennessee this weekend. That is how powerful I think that stadium is going to be. They haven't beaten Bama since I was 6 years old. I'm 21 years old. Okay?
Don't act like it.
Quiet you.
Do we all act like it? Let's be real.
I'm older than you. Respect your elders.
I'm older than both of you. Respect your elder. I almost said something else.
Okay, Grandpa, back to the home.
No, I thought this was the home.
Listen, that place is going to be rocking. I don't know the status of Bryce Young yet. If Bryce Young plays, or if Bryce Young does not play, Tennessee wins easily. If Bryce Young plays, it's going to be different. I've said all year I love Tennessee's defense. I really love it. I really love Hendon Hooker. He has to play well if they want to win.
They're giving the spread is Bama -7, so they're giving Tennessee 7 points,
which I think is way too much.
And Bama is favored to win 69.8% to Tennessee's 30.2% in the FPI.
Bama's already won. Damn, nice. So here's the thing. It's so hard to win in college football on the road anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's the SEC. Doesn't matter. It's hard to win on the road. It's hard to win in another atmosphere that's not your own.
3:30 p.m. game, so mid-afternoon.
So that is 3:30 on CBS is always called the SEC game of the week. Kind of like how
game of the week.
Big Ten is always like the big noon kickoff. Like that's just always how it is. So
because we like that, we start the day off right.
We do. I had Tennessee winning this game on a last-second field goal. There's going to be a 2.2 magnitude earthquake in Tennessee this weekend.
You realize how big 2.2 magnitude earthquake is?
Okay, I don't care. It's gonna be rocking. They might burn that city down if they beat Bama.
The Beastquake registered as a 1.
Okay, well, there's gonna.
So you're doubling the Beastquake?
Okay, it's gonna be shaking. Okay, Tennessee's gonna be shaking. They're going to be the new what was Seattle Legion of Boom? That's what they are.
Legion of Volunteers. Yeah, that's menacing.
Aaron, prediction, go.
Well, I think the Tennessee Volunteers upset the Alabama Crimson Tide.
And now we have to go 18 and over.
Okay. Oh well. 30-27. Okay, anyway, taking away the country accent. Yeah. Tennessee is good. I love me some Hooker. Hendon Hooker, not fishing with
the
hook.
Here, but we're gonna bonk you.
Not fishing with a hook, you know. I mean, you know what I mean. But I got Tennessee winning 30-27. I'm probably gonna regret this decision, but I've said that 1,000 times before, and here I am.
All right, so game day is in Tennessee again. Whatever, should be in Ann Arbor, but whatever. I'm not mad about it. Whatever.
Yes, you are, sweetie.
And the sheriff.
They're all mad.
And the sheriff is back in town. Okay, Peyton Manning gonna be guest picking for this game. Yes, sir.
Omaha.
I don't know what this accent is, but we just gonna roll with it.
Sir, you need a proper country accent here.
Yeah! Home sweet home to me.
Tennessee by 14.
Oh, we can sing a Rocky Top.
42-28, Tennessee.
All right.
Now,
here we go.
Big new game of the week.
Hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail. Hail to Michigan, the leaders and the best. Here we go. Penn State travels to the University of Michigan, A² Ann Arbor, Michigan. The big house will be rocking this weekend. It's actually only me and Andrew at the game. There's only going to be 2 people there, him and I.
All the way in the back.
All the way in the back. Woo! Yeah!
Let's just do it in the wave.
It's like a water boy.
Just have me there on an iPad on FaceTime.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, they're doing this thing with the color maize.
It's going to be a maze out. Maze out? Michigan maze out.
Are you talking about a maze of corn there, son?
No, sir. We in Kansas, we don't chop them rocks.
No, sir. That is Iowa. That is Iowa and Nebraska. The only thing they got up there, because they got crap football teams. They got corn, and corn. That's all they got. Instead of Call of Duty, they be playing Corner Duty.
Pretty sure they got corn in Kansas there too.
Now we got wheat fields, we got tobacco fields, we got
You ain't growing tobacco out there. It's not
what you call it?
Tobacco.
Yeah.
Tobacco.
I don't care.
Better in a more moist climate like your Virginias. That's tobacco be growing.
I did not grow up in Virginia. Thank you very much. I grew up in Kansas, even though I was born
in Cincinnati,
Ohio.
All right, we're getting off track here.
Sir, not so fast, my southern brother.
We know where you're picking.
All right, listen.
We know where you're picking.
We know where you're picking. Okay.
Well, we know where we are picking.
Okay.
So you guys don't know who I'm picking?
Clink, who?
Hold on. Well, we're gonna break this down from a fundamental standpoint. Okay.
Nothing about you do is fun or demental.
Listen.
Everything he does is mental.
Listen.
Yeah. Mental.
This game would depend on which quarterback plays better.
I think it depends on who scores more points at the end of the game.
Quiet, Booger.
Wait, no.
Listen.
Well, yeah.
No.
When the clock hits 0, the team that has the most points scored is gonna.
Booger. Go back to the studio. Listen.
I don't wanna.
If Sean Clifford outplays JJ, I think Penn State wins. If JJ outplays them, it's not going to come back to quarterback play. They both have great running backs. They both have great run defense. They both have great pass defenses. Something has to give in this game. I just think Blake Corum is going to be the determining factor, even though it's going to matter on the quarterbacks. Blake Corum, if he can get that running again, if Michigan's offensive line can get holes for Corum, can give enough time for JJ to throw, our receivers can get open, Michigan's going to win this game. I have Michigan winning 24-21. It will be a close game. Jake Moody's going to send us off, and we'll be rushing the field. Just kidding. We don't do that. Not for that pity game. No.
All right. So, let me hit you with some facts. Michigan's defense has allowed less total yards. Penn State and Michigan have about equal run defenses. 79 yards per game for Penn State, 81.7 for Michigan. Passing defense, Penn State gives up a lot more than Michigan does. And Clifford, I saw this stat where if he throws more than like 29 times in a game, Penn State's like 1-15 or something like that. It's ridiculous. They're awful if Clifford throws more than like 29 times.
Yep.
But if he throws underneath that, they're like.
You hear that from Joe Klatt? Who said that?
No, Josh Pate, I think.
Oh, it was Josh Pate. Yeah, I listened to Josh Pate.
Clifford is really good when they don't throw the ball. So it's going to come down to Michigan's D-line.
Because he's bad.
If Michigan's D-line comes to play, stops the run, forces them to pass, then Penn State's going to lose. And I think Michigan is going to do that. Penn State only beat Northwestern by 10 points. It was 17-7.
In their defense, it was
Now it's before bye week, and they were at home. So they were in Penn State before bye week. And Penn State also only beat Purdue by 4. Purdue's looking pretty solid, though. Michigan is coming off a struggle win against Indiana. They don't really come out to the second half, which is fine. And Michigan's got a bye week next week, so definitely don't want to be looking ahead to that. If they do, as Gus Johnson said, they'll be eating the cheese. But I think Michigan is the immovable object, and Penn State's unstoppable force is not as unstoppable. And Michigan will win this one 38-7.
I'll be honest. I'm worried about this game. I really am.
Well, you're worried about everything.
Quiet you.
You almost drove into a boulevard.
This guy doesn't like my driving.
He almost drove the wrong way on a 4-lane street.
What do you want me to do?
Not text and drive. All right, Clink. How do you feel about these big matchup?
I gotta be honest. I could care less about either of these teams, preferably one more than the other.
And you're going on mute? I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, that doesn't.
No.
That doesn't mute him. I was just seeing what the option is. Go ahead. Just talk.
All right. So, like I said, I don't like either of these teams. I could care less.
You're going to horny jail. There's a horny jail button.
You should have hit it by now. So, regardless, my final score, Penn State 25, Michigan 20.
You said Penn State 25?
Yes, I did. You got a problem with that there, Sonny?
Yeah, that's one of those 50% games you're getting wrong again.
If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I can accept when I'm wrong.
All right.
Moving on to the NFL.
National Football League. Yep, that is Aaron's intro to his new segment we like to call Aaron's Take on the NFL this week. Aaron, you have 5 minutes to talk about the NFL while we talk about some things. Go ahead.
No.
All right. So this week, last week, Thursday, October 6th, we had the worst Thursday night football game I've ever seen. When Russell Wilson said Broncos country, let's ride, he said, let's ride off a cliff. And then Bengals Ravens Sunday night football. Zach Taylor's play calling is horrible. Bengals ended up losing. Giants Packers. It is always a great day when the Packers lose. Made my entire day. And Steelers Bills. The Bills went into the Jedi Temple and slaughtered the younglings. Chargers Browns. Browns will be a good team when Deshaun comes back, I think. Lions, Patriots. Bill Belichick owns Jared Goff. You guys have me on mute, don't you?
No, you're able to talk. We're on mute because you're doing your segment.
Oh,
We're letting
my
you-
bad.
We're trying to figure out games to predict.
Okay.
We're behind this week because we're unprofessionals and this show stinks.
Not so fast, my friend.
Nah, we're letting you do your thing. You get your segment.
All right, go. Anyways, continuing this NFL segment. All right, I'm going to drop the country accent because that's stupid. The 49ers and Panthers. The 49ers beat the crap out of the Panthers, but y'all might not be winning on the field, but you won off the field this week as Matt Rule is gone. So yeah. And Chiefs Raiders, well, it was a fun Monday night game. Chiefs Raiders, always a great Monday night game, but a lot of flags thrown in this one. And speaking of flags, in the Falcons Buccaneers, the Falcons should have won this game, not even gonna lie, if it wasn't for that soft roughing the passer call. That was a sack by Grady Jarrett. I don't care what y'all say. Titans, Commanders suck. Texans, Jags, game was awful. Rams, Cowboys fans, relax. You guys are going to get bounced out of the wild card. Don't you worry. It'll be the same disappointment every year. Eagles, Cardinals gave the Eagles a scare. Cards need to fire Cliff Kingsbury. He is not a good head coach. Jets, Dolphins, congratulations. You and Zach Milfson beat the crap out of a Dolphins team with a third string quarterback. Congratulations. You guys have a record for the first time in like 10 or winning record, for the first time in like 10 years. And lastly, we have the Bears Vikings. And oh my God, this game is the Vikings are going to send me into the hospital due to high blood pressure this year because there is no reason they should have made Justin Fields look like he was dropping 60 on Michigan back in like 2018, 2019. I don't remember when it was, to be honest.
Bro, that was like last decade. Come on. That was last decade. Okay, 2020, Michigan is undefeated against Ohio State since 2020.
Sorry.
Alrighty then.
Well, that concludes my segment. Thank you all for listening.
So it was a great segment, Clink. I listened to the whole thing. It was beautiful.
I'm sure you did.
I did actually.
We did. We were.
Okay. It was beautiful. You did great.
It was weird. It was weird because y'all were discussing it and you had it on mute. So I guess you didn't. You know what? No, that makes sense.
I was listening.
Well, we heard you.
I retain both. You see me watch Netflix and play video games at the same time.
Yeah, this is true. Okay.
So, did you preview our NFL games for this week?
No, he was recapping the last week. Were you not paying attention?
But I thought I heard you say Eagles.
No, he wasn't.
No, I ran through just about every single game. Talked about the Vikings last because that team is going to raise my blood pressure.
This kid's going to raise my blood pressure.
I can't say that because I don't want to. I was going to say something, but I don't want to lose our family-friendly rating.
We only got 3 NFL games that are, I consider, worth watching.
So we won't break it down too much because the NFL is just right now.
The NFL kind of stinks.
It's kind of boring. So,
however, it is still really early in the season.
For sure.
But
once like week 10 is when we start realizing who's who.
Playing good football, and nobody has played good football this year.
Like the fact that the Giants are probably the best, one of the best teams.
4-1.
I know they're 4-1.
They're doing pretty good.
Listen. Here's the NFC standings right now, just for like so we can have a laugh at this.
Eagles are the best team in NFL.
It goes Eagles,
So fast,
Vikings, Cowboys, and Giants.
The fact that the Giants are 4-1 was not on my bingo board. All right, so the first game, Clink, you're going to break down all 3 of these because the NFL is going to be your thing today because we have not had time. Because
I get it. That's perfectly good.
At the Giants, 1 p.m. Break it down, just real quick.
Daniel Jones is his new nickname is Vanilla Vic. This is the battle of the best mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. That's right, Jalen Hurts. I'm disrespecting you. I'm kidding.
best quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, let's relax there.
I'm kidding.
Jared Goff does exist, and he shouldn't in the NFL.
Yeah, best
Okay, anyways, bottom line, this is gonna be a good game. Brian Daboll has those genies in New York playing tough every week, regardless if they win by 40, lose by 40, does not matter. They are playing tough every single week, and that is the kind of coach they need. The Ravens, I feel like Lamar is gonna have to pull some magic out of a hat to will this team to victory. He had to do it last week against the Bengals. Well, Justin Tucker did, but that's besides the point. Lamar was the one driving them down the field. So I got the Giants winning 28-24.
You said Giants?
Yeah, he said
Go.
Giants. All right. I like the Giants. I think Brian DeBalls definitely has a squad up there. That's my new nickname for him, DeBalls, because
The balls.
he's got the balls. I think the Giants are good, but I think the Ravens are just this much better. I think that much better is going to get the Ravens the win, as Justin Tucker sends it right down the uprights to win, 24-22.
You see, this much better usually correlates to this much more points, which usually means if you score more points than your opponent, you do, in fact, win the football game.
All right, Booger, tell us your score.
Ravens win. Ravens show the Giants why they shouldn't be 4-1. That's all I'm gonna say. Actually, I think the Giants look a lot better. Daniel Jones looks a lot better. Having Saquon makes it a lot better to not rely so much on Daniel Jones.
Saquon does make the Giants better. Just saying.
And their offensive line is a lot better than it has been in the past. So, but I think the Ravens win.
I'd say the run block is better, but
yes, I think the Ravens win this one though. It'll be close.
Buffalo, Kansas City. In your Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas.
You're apparently home.
all right, Donald Trump, relax.
Obviously, we saw what happened last year in the AFC divisional round. Picket fence defense with 13 seconds left and 2 timeouts. What are you doing, Buffalo?
Do you call yours? Are you Brian Kelly today? Faking your accent?
Family.
Well, I'll start showing up to the press conference I'll start showing up to the press conference on time when you start winning.
All right, you're only 1 point ahead of me in the prediction for the NFL. So I want to give too much time on your high horse there because I'm about to get this point back. Buffalo, Josh Allen slinging the rock to the former Vikings wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, with 2 G's because he's a G.
Not so fast, my friend. Kansas City wins this game. Buffalo relies too much on Josh Allen to win the game. They have no running game whatsoever. They have a great defense. It's going to be a great game. But with it being in Kansas City, so that place is going to be rocking. And after watching that Monday night game, that crowd is absolutely insane. And I bet
Short week for Kansas City.
But I bet you that those refs that were at that game, that Chiefs game, will not be reffing again in Kansas City.
I'm surprised those refs made it out alive.
Aaron, prediction, go.
Well, rematch of the divisional round last year, and which arguably was one of the best games I've ever watched. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one. I have bet against Patrick Mahomes way too many times, so I got the Chiefs winning 35-30.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah, brother, I'm getting another point.
Good pick.
All right.
Good pick.
Philly.
Don't count out Patty Mahomes.
Cooper Kush taking the boys.
Could be Dak.
No, it's Cooper Kush. Dak's out. Cooper Kush named starter. Taking the boys out into Philly in the dog yard where the real dogs play, not up in Cleveland. They play in Philly.
Aaron, go.
I said it.
Well, no, okay, I want everyone to stop giving Cooper Rush so much credit. That Dallas defense, pretty good. Not gonna lie. I am gonna have to go Philly 27-23. I don't think they lose their first game just yet.
Andrew?
I'm also going Philly. I don't think Philly loses yet, especially not the Cooper Kush. No offense to Cooper Kush, but Philly's hot and they're playing at home, and those Philly fans are brutal. Dallas has got a defense. They got a squad, but we'll see. They did lose to Tampa by a lot, so
I'm also going Philly. I have Jalen Hurts on my fantasy team. Dude is a freaking stud. He can do it. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. As long as he throws it to Devonta Smith every single pass, I don't really care. But Philly is a really good team to the point that I'm like, okay, like I can enjoy watching this team. Bong. You're all done. You're all done. Philly wins this game. Sends Jerry Jones right to the retirement home. All right. Well, that looks like that's all we have for today. Check back next week. Next week will hopefully be a little bit better. You know, all of us still being in college, it's hard to manage. You all know this, but we're still giving you our things. 18 seconds. We'll see you next week. My name is Jacob Butzine alongside Aaron Clanker and Andrew Schultz, and we'll play you out of here.